No matter where you came from, no matter what your people said to you, no matter how bad it was, none of that matters. If you can get your mind around a dream, a goal, a possibility, it will become your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Tyler Perry.
I'm sorry, I asked for the bigger chairs.
I see that.
I'm a bigger guy. I just needed a bigger chair. So sorry.
So what, they saved them for you now.
Yeah,
no, on me.
I think they would bring them out here for you if you asked. Yeah.
Hush your mouth, thank you.
Yes, again, that's so. God bless you, man. Thank you.
So look, we have a lot of things in common.
Yeah.
Okay.
Louisiana boys.
Yeah. Talk about that, your upbringing.
Oh man, Louisiana, growing up in New Orleans was really, really rough. It's a beautiful town. There's a lot of good and wonderful things that happen there, but for me it's really bittersweet because it wasn't an upbringing that was something that was full of a lot of joy. I had a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, had a very abusive father, and had to live through a lot to get to this place. So New Orleans was New Orleans. Every time I go back there, though, I do find things that make me feel good about the time that I spent there.
Yeah. So when you look back at that time,
Yeah.
like what back then made you who you are today? One, and two, did you have some idea or some dream or fantasy about becoming Tyler Perry?
I think everything about that time let me know I would be here. I know that may sound strange for some people, but as I look back on it now, what I realize is that all of the pain, all of the hell, everything I was going through was a buy-in for something. And I tell people all this time, if you're struggling, if you're going through something, what is it for? To everything in this, on the earth, there's an opposite. There's up, there's down, there's in, there's out, there's left, there's right, there's east, there's west. So there's got to be an opposite to the pain that you're going through. So I didn't realize that until I got a lot older. But walking through all of that pain, it was a buy-in for the life that I have now. And I know there are people who don't believe, well, I should just have it. I don't have to go through anything. No, if you want to get it, it's going to take some hard work, some struggle, some sacrifice so that you can really get it and appreciate it. And that's what I experienced.
Do you think, Tyler, that anybody can get it? No matter what the conditions are, where they live, circumstances?
Let me tell you why I think anybody can, because I'm sitting here with you. Everything about my life said that I was not supposed to make it. I was supposed to be dead or in jail. Many awful things based on the statistics of where I came from. But there's certain things that I had that really helped me, and you may not have this, but if you, somewhere along your lineage, you may have. I had a praying mother who prayed for me, who walked me through, who told me you're gonna be all right, you know? And she didn't have a great legacy to leave to me, but she took me to church. She taught me about faith. She taught me about God. She taught me how to pray for myself. So once I was able to take faith into everything else that I had going on in my life, I was able to get over a lot of things, a lot of hurdles.
And then, yeah, go ahead. Come on, man. So the faith thing, like when did you start getting that? And then how did you convert that to an action that showed you, hey, this will work? And you could make it work.
Yeah, for me, understanding, the biblical principles, one is faith without work is dead. You can't just sit around praying, God, do it, and then you don't do anything. That's not going to happen. You got to get up and do the work, right? But understanding that I was a dreamer as a kid. I always had a dream. Every time I looked around the house and where I lived and how I lived, I want to tell you this part of it. In New Orleans, where we lived, was 2 blocks from mansions and beautiful houses. There was a streetcar that went down St. Charles Avenue, and all the tourists would come and see all these beautiful mansions, but just behind that was really rough streets. So I would leave and walk to, there was a drugstore that I would love to go to. My mother would tell me, don't go over there after dark. I don't want you around the white folks. Hear me, I'm gonna take you somewhere with this. My mother came from Jim Crow South, who had seen a lot of bad experiences, right? So her fear for me wasn't that she didn't trust people, is that what she had seen and what she experienced. But I always thought in myself, in my soul, there's something, I reject that all people are bad people because of wherever they come from, right? So as I'm walking from that home to the store, I would see people living well, Here we are in the projects, and they're living well, and I would be told, oh, you can't live like that because you're black, or you can't live like that because we're poor. That's what the mentality was when I was coming up. And they weren't bad people, it's just what they had gone through. But me, something in me, which I know to be the voice of God, said, that's not true. You're just as good as anybody else. If you work hard, if you're a good person, if you do the right thing, good things will come into your life. You will reap what you sow. So that's where I try to live my life, by doing good, by honoring people, by doing the right thing, and I expect those things to come in my life. And if I work really, really, really hard, I expect to see a really, really great result. You talk about 10X. If I work 10X as hard, I want to see a 10X result. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then when was the first time you saw that? Was it as a teenager, or as a kid, teenager, adult, young adult?
The first time, well, my father wasn't a great father. As I look back on it, I think now he may have had some undiagnosed mental issues, but he worked hard. This man, if he didn't give me anything else, he gave me a work ethic. Sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. If you he was a carpenter, so if you gave him a hammer and a nail, he could create the Taj Mahal. He was just that good at what he did. So I always knew that I had to work. But I also would watch my father work and build these houses, and the person that he built the houses for would pay him. He'd come home with this $800 and he'd have to pay all his guys, and he was so excited about that. But I watched the guy who owned the house sell it for $80,000. And I'm a teenager at this time, and I'm thinking, why don't you just be the owner, take the mortgage, be the owner? But there was a mentality and a mindset from my family that only thought that is not for us. We can't have that. And if you have a mindset and a mentality of what you cannot have, you never will. If you are able to adjust it, no matter where you came from, no matter what your people said to you, no matter how bad it was, none of that matters. If you can get your mind around a dream, a goal, a possibility, it will become your life. I am sitting here, I'm getting chills talking to you guys. I'm sitting here as a living witness. I'm telling you, there's no reason other than the grace of God that I'm sitting here in the position that I am in today.
That's awesome. Yeah. And we started, this morning I talked about having an idea and being able to manage that idea to a reality, not just wish it or hope for it to happen. How do you manage? Like, you've done some things that has never been done in Hollywood. Probably one of the most ruthless, nasty, competitive sports on the planet, except for politics.
Yeah, except politics. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When did you have an example, Tyler, that you're like, I could do something different?
I just never thought anybody would believe in me. So everybody who went to Hollywood and auditioned and got a role, or would talk to this producer or got an agent, that was never my path. I didn't think that anybody wanted to see what I had to offer. So for me, what I started doing, I was watching the Oprah show in the early 90s, and she said it was cathartic to write things down. So I started writing my own stuff, and I was using different characters' names, and someone found it and said, wow, this is a really good play. I was like, play? It's funny how a little thing will have you fall into a different destiny that you didn't even know was yours. So I did the play, I saved the money, went to H&R Block, did my taxes, got me one of those refunds I wasn't supposed to get, but I got it. And I put this play up.
Louisiana refund.
That's right. I put this play up, and I thought 1,200 people would come and show up, but I wasn't a promoter. I didn't know. I just like if I do it, they're going to come. If you build it, they will come. Well, they didn't come for me. So there was 30 people that showed up. I had my rent payment, my car payment, everything tied into that moment, and it didn't work. It devastated me. I ended up homeless, ended up out on the street living in Atlanta, but that play would not let me go, because out of the 30 people, there was somebody said, hey, I want to invest. So there's always a ram in the bush. There's always when it's yours and it's supposed to happen, there'll always be somebody or something that shows up that gives you that little nudge of encouragement to keep going and try it again. So for 7 years, I tried to do this play over and over and over again.
Same play?
Same play. I would not let it go.
7 years?
7 years. I was only doing it once a year. And every time I would Lord have mercy. Every time I'd get a break in between the play, I'd go get a job. And I remember going to my boss one time saying, listen, I got an opportunity to do this play. I just found another promoter who wants to do it, one city, 1 week, and I really want to do it. He goes, okay. I was like, yeah, I need some time off. I just need about 3 weeks off to go and do this play. He said, you only been working here 2 weeks, you know? So I was like, yeah, but he said, no, I'm not doing that. So I went back to my desk. I said a prayer, God, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do it. I got up, I went and told the man, I quit. Sorry, I'm leaving. I have to go do this. I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm telling you what I did.
This is not financial advice.
Yes. So, right. So I went, I did the show, nothing. Nobody showed up. And this happened over and over and over again. And I was just wondering, God, what is going on? Because I feel like I am supposed to be doing this. I know this is right, but every time I find myself out on the street, homeless, no job, trying to figure out why am I in this position over and over again. And I thought it was failure. But I look back now and I realize that it was my proving time. It was a time that was saying to me or teaching me to honor the moment. If you get this thing that you want so desperately, what will you do with it? Will you do right with it? Will you honor it? Will you rise to what it means? And all of those moments that I thought were failures had actually ended up being incredible opportunities to shift my thought and focus and direction in the way that it needed to go. So in 1998, I did that play again. I was sitting in the dressing room complaining like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is my last time doing it because, God, you bring me out here and you always leave me and I'm so angry and I'm so frustrated. And I hear this voice, still small voice, say to me, I am God. I tell you when it's over. You don't tell me when it's over. And I heard the voice say, listen to me. I heard the voice say, get up and look out the window. I go to the window and there was a line around the corner trying to get into this theater. I had never seen anything like that in my life. This was in 1998. I sat there with tears rolling down my face. That show sold out in 1998, and from 1998 until 2015, I was on the road selling out theaters and arenas all over this country. So I had built a brand and a base and an audience. So when I got to Hollywood, Grant, they were like, I was like, listen, I got this movie I want to do. It's Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and my audience loves it, and I really want to do it. And they were like, nah. They were like, who are you? I couldn't walk down the street in the South without people saying, Tyler, Medea, Tyler, Medea. Didn't like the Medea so much, but like, Tyler. So, but that audience, that group of people, that base has been the sole support for me, and I super serve my niche in every film and everything I do. I go back to the base. I want to make sure the base is happy, even if as I'm growing it. My last movie was #1 in 14 countries and in the top 10 in 50 on Netflix, Mea culpa. But that was also about, let me speak to the base and serve the base and see how it grows from there. And that's how I got into Hollywood. Long story, but that's how I got into Hollywood. Yeah.
So,
let me tell you this. And they told me, they said, you know, I remember talking to the head of Lionsgate at the time, and, you know, he said, well, I was so angry with everybody because I got one of those fancy agents, and they're like, listen, come out here, do your play. I did the play. All the executives came, thumbed their nose up at it or whatever. Then Mike Pasternak over at Lionsgate, who's an amazing guy, he said, I'll do your movie with you. He was out of town. I had to meet with the head of Lionsgate, and I said, well, what do you want this movie to do? And he said, well, if this movie does, you know, $20 million, then that's great. That's a success. I was like, okay, great. $20 million the first weekend? He laughed at the table. He's like, no, these movies don't do 20. What are you saying to me? I went to that base.
what was the budget on this?
$5 million.
Okay.
I went to that base and I said, listen, I need you all to show up for me. The movie opened the day after the Oscars, first weekend, $24 million. First weekend. It went on to make $50 million. And they were all scratching their head. But here is the thing about being underestimated. You don't need to walk in a room telling anybody who you are. Don't walk in there trying to give them your resume, especially if you know you have a secret weapon. Shh. Walk in, make the best deal you can because they don't know what you have in your back pocket. So when I made this deal, I was like, listen, I need to own it. I need the ownership. I have to own it. That's the only way I'm going to do it. Oh, you can own it. You're not going to make it.
They thought it was nothing.
Yeah.
You knew what it was.
They regret that they don't own it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of that did you own?
How much?
How much of that movie did you own?
All of it. No,
You weren't just building.
No,
you
no,
learned
no.
from your dad.
Exactly. I wanted to be the man who owned the house. So 100% of every film, every television show, I've got over 1,800 hours of television. I own every bit of it. That's what has brought me to this place. Yeah. Yeah. The studio in Atlanta, I have no partners. It's 330 acres, 12 sound stages. It's the largest studio in the country. Own it.
You own it.
Yes, because my father taught me in reverse the power of ownership. So ownership is the key to changing generations.
Talk about how you learned in reverse.
Learning in reverse is, I remember just clear as day, I have a son who's 9 years old, but before he was born, I was freaking out. I was like, first of all, I was 45, this kid snuck up on me. I'm like, I'm having my own grandson, So I'm like, wait, we're having a baby? Okay, but then one day I was really sad about how do I make this fatherhood thing work? Nobody showed me. And in my tears and frustration, I hear that same small voice said, just as I'm looking in the mirror at a reverse image of myself, just do it in reverse. Do the opposite of what your father did and you have your answers. Where your father was mean and angry and wanted to beat you, show love and kindness and correct this child in the right way. So I got the opposite in reverse. So if you have these moments in your life where you don't know what to do and all of your examples were terrible, what is the opposite of that? And focus on that, man. And my son is amazing. He's amazing.
How old is he?
He's 9 now. He's 9.
How old are you?
Right now, how old am I right now?
How old are you right now?
I'm 54. 54.
Dude, you look great. 54 years old.
Thank you.
I just hope I look as good as you when I'm your age.
Yes, that's right. Take your time. Take your time. Don't rush to it. Yeah.
So what have your movies done? You own all that. What total gross ticket sales? Do you know? I bet you know.
I actually don't know the exact number, but it's got to be close to $1 billion so far. Yeah. But and you couple that with all of the TV shows and everything else. So I just found, like, my payroll last year was $152 million. Wow. That's payroll.
That's awesome. Give him a big hand for that. That's taking care of people, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And this is mostly to people who have never had a shot in the industry. So when you work this hard and you struggle and you fight and you deal with all that it takes to be you and own your company and own your business and all this other stuff, and you have the responsibility of other people in your life, I feel that you are blessed when you honor that as well. So I try to do that with all my might.
And you and I talked backstage about some of the people that you're helping that work for you.
Yeah.
Like you have a way of bringing people in because you own the company.
Yeah.
That you hire.
Yeah. There's a lot of former prisoners that work at the studio who couldn't get jobs anywhere else. They come in, they work at Grip and Electric. A couple of them jokers, I had to send them on their way because they wanted to fight everybody. But to watch these men come out of prison and have one guy was in for 21 years, another guy I know was in for 7. But their work ethic is so incredible because they know what this shot means. And I'd rather have 5,000 of those guys around me working because I'm shoulder to shoulder with all of them working every day. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not doing. And there's not one person in my company that does a job that I don't know how to do. I learned how to do it all. So if you telling me it took 2 hours to do that, I'm like, no, because I did that in 15 minutes. Something's wrong. So to have this entire push of people, the spirit, this energy, all moving in the same direction is really powerful.
We were talking about backstage when I was taking pictures with the kids, and
these kids are pretty incredible, by the way. Very, very firm handshakes. I mean, they were like, "Hello, Tyler Perry, my name." I was like, "Wow, yeah,
good job." For work. They're looking for work.
Good job.
I said, "This guy's got a lot of employees. He might give you a job, pay you better than I do." And I said, "What kind of manager?" I said, I was working my guys back there. I'm like, "Do this. That's wrong. Hey, fix your damn battery." What kind of manager are you? Like, are you like?
I do not micromanage.
I do
not micromanage. But if I put you in this position and you prove to me that you know what you're doing, I let you handle it. Like, case in point, I had a guy that was coming in. He wanted to revamp this whole division of my company. He was saying he can make it so much better. I was like, listen, right now it's working well. He's like, no, I can make it work a whole lot better and I can save you a ton of money. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I want to let go of these people. I'm like, you want to let go of these people? Now, these people are really important to me. He said, no, I've got better. I'm like, are you sure? I went to the group. I said, listen, here's the new boss. Everything he says goes. I stood behind him. Every move, every decision he made, I honored with him. Now, he knew that his neck was on the line if he screwed up, because he had gotten rid of people that had
so much rope.
I gave him not to hang himself, but to have him swing on to the next victory.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So as he started doing it, I started seeing the progress and everything. I was like, okay. So that's when I learned to just let the people that you put in place, trust them to do the job.
But what about the guy that said it takes 22 hours and you said I can do that in 20 minutes?
But he wasn't.
That's micromanaging.
He wasn't in a leadership position. So yeah, and this was before I brought in the guy who helped me to not micromanage. And that's another thing I learned to do, let go of a lot of the responsibilities. You've got to find the right team. Oh man, if I tell you, I could have paid for a Harvard education 1,000 times over with the things I didn't know. Having the things I was wasting my time on. If you are the head and you've got all these ideas and you're running the company, why are you wasting your time mopping the floor if you know that the whatever time is going to take you to mop the floor, if you were over here working on this would have so much more of an advantage that you could make 10 times what you were thinking and pay somebody to mop the floor who would appreciate it. See what I mean?
I do see.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. Yeah.
Speaking of 10 times.
Yeah.
Since you brought it up,
Yeah.
what does the term 10X mean to you?
Many things. Partly, the chairs you had out here needed to be moved 10x to hold me, but the just the understanding of whatever you want in life, you're going to have to work hard for it. Whatever that is, and if it's huge, you're going to work 10 times as harder. And I used to get so jealous of people. This is another thing you have to watch. I would get so jealous of people who could get it easy or get some form of it without having the difficulties that I had. I'm like, how did you just walk into this and get that? And how I'm struggling. I would get so angry. And then I had to like, you know what? I'm never going to be jealous of anybody again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to understand why my path is different. Why do I have to work much harder than that person? And when I tell you, as I look back at all of those people, I kept surpassing and surpassing and surpassing and surpassing every time. I'm like, wow, the very person that you were jealous of because of what they had, look at where you are now. Now they're looking at you going, wow, how did you do that? Well, instead of being jealous, I started working and focus and working harder and harder. Nobody could outwork me. Nobody.
He grew up in the bayou.
That's right.
Now he flies right by you.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I did that. So
That's pretty good, Grant. That's pretty good.
If you ever got a part for me, let me know.
No, I don't.
Hey, I've been rejected more than that. That don't hurt. Yeah, I've been turned down so many times. So do you think, had you been turned on in the first 7 weeks rather than 7 years,
Yeah.
do you think you would have missed that work ethic? You wouldn't have this ability to like keep going?
Yeah. Well, part of it is I wouldn't have the appreciation and I wouldn't have the wisdom. That 7 years brought me so much wisdom. It brought me so much wisdom to navigate, to think, to move and maneuver. So I'm grateful for every day of those 7 years. A part of what the problem of where we are right now is Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. You look at people's lives and you go, wow. Now listen, I got people that work for me. I know what I pay them, and I look at their Instagram going, wow. You are living like that? But a lot of that is illusion. They want you to think that's what it is. So if you start focusing on that stuff, if you start paying attention to that, you're going to get off track. Focus on your journey, your lane. I have never in Hollywood felt any competition from anybody. My only competition is myself. There's not one person, not one. I get inspired. Sure, I look at these guys and go, wow, that's amazing. That inspires me. But no, I'm one of one. I'm in my own lane doing my own thing.
When you see somebody accomplishing big things,
Yeah.
like what happens for you? Do you like, I think you're talking about inspiration.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, when I
But you also have a critical enough eye to say, wait a minute, is this even real?
No, two different things. No. When I see people having tremendous success, I'm happy for them. I really am happy for them. But when I see people on Instagram with fake success, that you know that ain't your airplane. Where you get that? What are you doing? That's what I mean. That kind of thing.
So when you flew into Opelika and you saw the helicopter in that plane, you're like, oh shit, he might be real.
No, stop it.
He saw it. No. You saw it, right?
Yes. I saw the GC on the Gulfstream and on the helicopter. I said, oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll try to get me a helicopter. That's what I thought. But no, it wasn't that. What it is for me is that when you look at people, like, especially more than anything, right, these young people who haven't worked yet, they haven't earned it yet, and you're looking at them traveling the world going, where's your mama? Who is paying for all this? You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
When somebody's, I'm sure you get pitched a lot. Yeah, your story makes me think of a guy that young guy shows up in my office one day, and he rents a Rolls Royce. He's 24 years old.
See what I mean? Yeah.
He rents a Phantom or something. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To pitch me on me giving him money for his business.
With pulling up in a Phantom.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. But see, that would be all over Instagram. I went to meet with Grant in my Rolls Royce. No, you rented it and you walked out of the room without the money you needed because you came in with a pretense that you didn't have.
I didn't even listen to the pitch.
Exactly right. See, for me, let me tell you something. I am so real. When I was broke, I was broke. I didn't lie. My shoes were run over. They were like, Tyler, can you? No, I don't have the money to come over there and meet you. I'm sorry. You know, so I was in my truth all the time.
You don't believe fake it till you make it.
I don't believe that, man. Some people believe fake it to make it. That's great. And if that works for you, then so be it. But for me, I've just got to be in because that kid was faking it. And he missed the moment to make it. Yeah, rather than being hey, here's what I am. I got this incredible idea. I've got this incredible business. I know it can be this. Here's where we are. This is God's honest truth of where we are. Here's where we are. Here's where I see us going. How can you help me?
So how does somebody get that meeting with you?
They don't.
Okay. But if they were to get it,
no.
How would they go about that? And then what would you want to hear? Most of these people are business owners.
Yeah. No. I was completely joking.
Yeah, no, I know you were. We having fun, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we having fun? Y'all enjoying this conversation? Let me tell you, I had Tucker Carlson here this morning. He's batshit crazy. Okay. I literally, I couldn't even have a conversation with him. I'd wound him. I'd drop a quarter in and boom, he just goes off. Okay. We are having a dialogue, a conversation. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Lord, I don't forgot what we were talking about now. What were we saying?
We were talking about how would I pitch you? How do I get the meeting? If I could get the meeting.
No.
And then how would I talk to you about my idea?
Yeah, what happens with us is a lot of it comes through my agent. Agencies are, hey, Tyler, we got this idea. This company has this company has that. And once they come in, it's a bunch of gatekeepers that you have to get through because
walls and walls.
Because and this is what I learned because I've been sued too many times. Yeah, I had a woman who said that she wrote Diary of a Mad Black Woman and filed a lawsuit against me, and this was many years ago, and it was a tremendous lesson for me. So now there are protocols before any information can come to me. So it has to go through all the proper channels so that everything's been vetted. It's sad. Yeah, because you run into people who have incredible stuff and be like, I'm sorry, I can't. It has to go through the channels. And you hope that it gets there. But when people come up with this BS and things like that, well, she lost the case, by the way. I would have, listen, if you come after my integrity, this is what I did. They filed a lawsuit down in Texas, Marshall, Texas. And because they didn't think I would come. The lawyer's like, just give us $a few million, we'll go away. I was like, no, you talking about my integrity. Let me just tell you what I'm gonna do. I rented a Nissan Sentra, and I rented the Holiday Inn, and I went to court every day until I won. Because there's certain things that I'm just not going to let you attack or do, right? So all of that to say that yes, you can get the meetings, but there are all of these different hurdles.
Once I get through the gates,
yeah,
then I sit down with you.
Yeah.
What do you expect from me? Like
what I'm looking for.
2 or 3 things you'd want from me.
What I'm looking for is that you know it. that whatever it is, you know it, like you know it. I want to be able to ask you 10 different questions about from your bottom line to your middle line to last year to profits. I want to know that you know it, that you don't have to call somebody and say, well, let me get that information. Let me know. You know it so well that it's right there in front of you, in your mind. Here it is. And I want a thorough plan, like what is this? How do we scale up? How do we build it? Show me all of that. Put that all in front of me and make it clear, powerfully, strongly, definitively, in everything you do.
You want to see something written? You want to see animation? You want to see pictures?
Whatever you think you're best at. Whatever you think is going to get because I've seen it all. I've seen it written on a napkin. You know, we were drunk in a bar, and
what was that deal? What was that deal?
This is my builder. So we were working on some, and I like to design and draw things, and so we built something that turned out pretty profitable. That's all I'll say about it. But wherever it is, it's like whatever it is, just be sure that you know what it is.
How important, when you talked about it was very profitable, you got this glee in your eye, right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's very important. I think money's been demonized in our society. If you say you made money on a project, it's almost like you shouldn't or something.
Who's doing that?
Well, I get a lot of hate. I get my fair share of hate for the plane, for the helicopter, for success, for talking about.
You said the word, though, for success. There are people on this planet who do not have the capacity, not the ability, but the capacity to receive certain amounts of success in their mind. If you don't have the capacity in your mind, you will never be able to receive it or feel it, right? So you couple that with people who are seeing other people who have the capacity to do it, there's all of this hatred and jealousy and envy because they look at your life and then they look at theirs and there's this, well, why not me? And rather than setting that aside and putting the work and the time in to see what your why not me is, it's easier to just hate on somebody. But anyway, go ahead, I'm sorry.
How important is money to the game?
To which game? My game?
To the game you're playing, to the game they're playing? How important will money either be now or in the future?
Money is really, really important as an expression to what you want to do and be in life. So I don't apologize. I used to be listen, man, the first year I made money, that 1998, 99, I made like $130,000. I was like, whoa, wow, $130,000. Now listen, I'm coming from being homeless. I got $130,000. Got to the end of the year, had no money to pay my taxes. Nobody told me about taxes. Next year, I made $700,000. I was like, wow, $700,000. Same thing, no money to pay my taxes. I had given it all away to family, to friends. Next year, $7 million. Same situation. So what was happening in year to year to year is I had a guilt inside of me that told me I didn't deserve it. I came from a pathology of, in order to get money, all your money had to be gone, which meant that you can only have this money, and for 2 weeks later you're going to get paid. That's when you get more money. So all the money has to be gone for that money to come in. So this is the way that I was thinking. So I was giving it all away because I didn't feel that I deserved it or I was worthy of it. I felt like everybody else was. I got over that shit. because what I realized is that if I keep giving this money to you, then I'm not able to help myself. And if I can't help myself, I certainly can't help you in the future. So it became about, let's see how to make money work for me in this situation and have it be at a place where I can do the things that I'm doing like right now, like talking about the payroll with all of those other people. I mean, these people got kids in colleges, they're living lives that they never thought they could because of whatever dream came through me. And so I'm so glad I didn't give up, I didn't stop. I just kept going because I know for a fact that a lot of people's dreams are tied into mine, just like they're into yours and your business and your hope and what you want to do. And I got a friend right now, I'm jumping the subject a little bit, but I got a friend right now who has a great fitness thing going on. And we were talking the other day, and I think that thing could be all over the world because of the way it's caught on. So his mind opening up to that really was like, you know, I felt that too, but I wasn't quite sure. So if you have somebody around you that can spark that in you, keep them around. because you're going to have enough people saying, nah, that ain't going to work. So if you got that one or two that just gives you that little bit of nudge to keep dreaming, to keep going, hold on to those people.
How important is that example? To have somebody to hold on to when you haven't done it yet, to see like, oh, he could pull me forward.
Yeah. I didn't have it. That's why I know it. That's why I know it's so important. So for us to not to have it and get to this place, I feel obligated, and you do too. That's why we're here, to say, hey, you can too. That's what that is. That's what that is in us that makes us go, no. I didn't have an example, but I can be one for you or somebody else or somebody else. So I don't care what it is. I don't care if you have $50 in your pocket or $2 in your pocket. If you can encourage or inspire somebody to make their life work, all of that comes back to you in your life. I believe that, man. Every bit of that comes, every bit of that good. And I feel like, Grant, I truly feel like I'm living off of all of that I put out in the world that has helped so many other people. I feel like that is coming back into my life. That is how I took care of my mother until the day she died. That is what's on my son's life. I feel like all you plant, you reap what you sow. That is the Bible. You reap what you sow. So I have been trying to sow as much good as I can so that harvest is as I reap it, it's all good harvest.
And that's why I had you here today, man.
Thank you, brother.
You're an inspiration to me. You're an inspiration to my family.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tyler Perry, an American hero right here. Come on. Come on. Bust it up.